Now, let me tell you something about colors and what they say about who you really are. Not who you think you are, not who you're trying to be, but who you actually are. Underneath all the stories you tell yourself about yourself. We walk through a world painted in color every single day, and we think we're just reacting randomly. We think our preferences are arbitrary, meaningless, just matters of taste. But there's something deeper happening, something your conscious mind doesn't even notice. Those you're drawn to, the ones you choose again and again when no one's telling you what to pick, they're speaking a language your rational mind doesn't understand. But your deeper self, it understands perfectly. I'm going to show you some. A simple test, not the kind of test you can study for or fail. The kind of tests where the only wrong answer is lying to yourself. And believe me, most of us are very good at lying to ourselves. We're so good at it that we don't even know we're doing it anymore. Blaine, I want you to think about six colors, just six: red, blue, yellow, green, purple, and orange. Simple, right? Primary colors and their close relatives. The colors that appear in every culture, every human society that has ever existed. And now, without thinking too hard about it, without trying to be clever or strategic, not which one you wore yesterday, but which one resonates with something inside you that you might not even have words for. You see, this isn't about decoration. This isn't about fashion. This is about seeing yourself reflected in something as simple as a wavelength of light. Plan. Let me tell you what happened to me years ago. I was working with a woman, very successful, very put together, designer clothes, expensive car, the whole performance. But then I asked her to think about what color actually appeared most in her home when no one was visiting, in the clothes she wore when she wasn't going anywhere, in the things she surrounded herself with when no one else was looking. And she got very quiet because the answer was blue, soft, quiet, peaceful blue, the color of silence. And right there, in that gap between what she chose in her mind and what she chose with her whole life revealed itself. She was performing red, living as red, pushing herself to be red. But she was actually blue. She needed peace, not conquest. She craved stillness, not stimulation. She was exhausting herself trying to be something she fundamentally wasn't. This is what I mean about colors revealing truth. They bypass all the clever thinking. They show you what's actually there. So, let's talk about what these colors really mean. Not the superficial meanings you've heard before, not the marketing departments, but what they actually represent about the human experience and the humans who choose them. If you chose red, you're someone who lives in intensity. You don't do anything halfway. When you're happy, you're ecstatic. You love with everything you have. You're not afraid of conflict, because conflict is just another form of aliveness to you. But you'd rather fight than feel nothing. Peens. But here's what people often don't see about themselves. You can be exhausting, not just to others, but to yourself. You burn so hot that sometimes you burn out. You're so busy being passionate about everything that you forget that not everything deserves passion. Some things deserve to be let go. But letting go feels like dying to you, doesn't it? Because if you're not engaged in some drama or pursuit or conquest, then what are you to mean? I knew a red person once who couldn't understand why his relationships kept ending. Such passion, he'd say, such intensity. But what he couldn't see was that intensity isn't the same as intimacy. That sometimes people need you to turn down the volume, to stop performing passion and just be quietly present. His red was beautiful, but it was also a kind of blindness. If you chose blue, you're someone who needs depth. Surface conversation bores you. Small talk feels like torture. You want to understand things, really understand them. You want to know why people do what they do, what makes them tick, what they're afraid of in the dark. You're drawn to the ocean not because it's pretty, but because it's vast and mysterious and deep, pained. But blue people, let me tell you something about yourselves. You can get lost in all that depth. You can overthink everything until the simplest decision becomes impossible. You analyze, you contemplate, you consider every angle. And while you're thinking, life is happening. While you're trying to understand the perfect way to do something, other people are out there doing it imperfectly, and learning as they go. Ponjan. I watched a blue person spend 3 years thinking about writing a book, reading about writing, studying other writers, analyzing structure and technique and voice. And you know what? They never wrote the book because thinking about writing isn't writing. Understanding depth isn't the same as diving in. Finds. If you chose yellow, you're someone who believes in possibilities. Tomorrow could be amazing. Next week could be transformative. Next year could be the year everything comes together. You're the person who makes others feel lighter just by being in the room. You find the good in situations. You see the potential in people. You're genuinely excited about ideas and experiences and all the things life might offer. Bland but yellow people. Here's your shadow. Sometimes your optimism is a defense mechanism. Sometimes you're so busy looking at the bright side that you're not looking at reality. You avoid darkness to depth. When things get hard, you want to skip to the part where it all works out. You want the lesson without the struggle, the growth without the pain. And life doesn't work that way. I knew a yellow woman who would start something new every few months, a business, a hobby, a relationship. Everything was going to be wonderful. Everything was going to change her life. But the moment it got difficult, the moment the initial excitement wore off and the real work began, she was on to the next thing, the next possibility. She was so in love with beginnings that she never learned about middles or endings. Land, if you chose green, you're someone who values harmony. You want things to work smoothly. You want people to get along. You're the one who notices when someone's upset, who asks if everyone's okay, who tries to keep the peace. You believe in balance, in fairness, in everyone having enough. You're uncomfortable with conflict, with inequality, with harsh edges and sharp corners. But green people, let me tell you what you often can't see. Sometimes your need for harmony is really a fear of disruption. Sometimes keeping the peace means never saying what needs to be said. You smooth things over so automatically that you don't even notice you're doing it anymore. Someone hurts you, and you're already making excuses for them. Someone takes advantage, and you're already finding ways to understand their perspective. Mohammed. There was a green person I knew who stayed in a terrible job for years. The boss was cruel, the work was soul destroying, the whole environment was toxic. But leaving would cause disruption. It would upset the balance. Someone would have to be trained to replace him. The team would be short-handed. So he stayed and stayed and stayed, sacrificing himself on the altar of not causing problems. That's the trap of green. You can become so committed to harmony that you forget you're part of the equation too. Benda. If you chose purple, you're someone who lives between worlds. You're equally comfortable with logic and intuition, with the material and the mystical, with facts and feelings. You see connections other people miss. You understand that things can be true in ways that aren't literally true. You're drawn to meaning, to significance, to the ways things resonate beyond their surface reality. Fine. But purple people, here's what you need to hear. Sometimes your ability to see multiple perspectives makes it hard for you to stand firmly in any perspective. You understand everyone so well that you lose track of what you actually believe. You can see truth in everything, which means you commit fully to nothing. You're so busy integrating and synthesizing and finding the deeper, meaning that you forget that sometimes a thing is just a thing. Sometimes there's no hidden significance. Sometimes the surface is all there is. I knew a purple person who could never make a decision without consulting astrology, numerology, dream interpretation, and 3 different intuitive readers. Every choice became a mystical quest. Should I take this job? What does the universe want? What's my higher purpose? And meanwhile, she was broke and stressed and miserable, waiting for cosmic permission to take action. Purple wisdom without practical grounding is just elaborate paralysis. If you chose orange, you're someone who thrives on experience. You want to try things, do things, taste things, feel things. You're not interested in theories about life. You want to live it. You're the person who says yes to adventures, who takes risks, who would rather regret something they did than something they didn't do. You're curious about everything, enthusiastic about most things, and bored by routine bands. But orange people, let me show you your blind spot. Sometimes your hunger for new experiences is really an inability to be satisfied with what you have. You're always looking at the next thing, the next place, the next person, the next adventure. You mistake movement for progress. You mistake variety for depth. You collect experiences like some people collect stamps, but you don't always integrate them. Learn from them. Let them change you. Lens. There was an orange person I met who had been to 60 countries by age 30. Impressive, right? But when I asked him about any of those places, his descriptions were surprisingly shallow. He'd been there, checked it off the list, moved on. He was experiencing everything and experiencing nothing, too busy accumulating to actually absorb. Now, here's what I really want you to understand. The color you chose isn't telling you something new about yourself. It's revealing something you already knew, but maybe didn't have words for. It's like looking in a mirror after not seeing your reflection for a long time. Oh, there you are. That's what you actually look like under all the assumptions and self-stories. And here's the interesting part. The color you chose today might be different from the color you'd have chosen 5 years ago, because we change. Or maybe more accurately, different parts of ourselves become dominant at different times. The red person can have a blue season. The yellow person can sink into green. We're not fixed. We're not locked into one way of being. But there's usually a color that's home base for you. A color that, if you're honest with yourself, has been there all along. A color that shows up in your choices when you're not trying to impress anyone or be anyone other than who you actually are. I'll tell you something about myself. For years, I thought I was purple. I liked the idea of being purple. It sounds sophisticated and deep, but when I really looked at my life, when I noticed what I was actually drawn to in moments when I wasn't performing or strategizing, I was green, always trying to make things harmonious, always smoothing over conflicts, always seeking balance even at my own expense, and seeing that clearly, naming it, understanding it. That changed something, because once you see the pattern, you can work with it. You can lean into its strengths, its weaknesses. You can stop pretending to be something you're not and start being what you actually are, but more consciously. Band. This is what self-knowledge really means. Not accumulating information about yourself, not taking endless personality tests and reading your horoscope and collecting labels, but seeing clearly, looking at your actual behavior, your actual choices, your actual responses to life, and being willing to see what's there instead of what you wish was there. The colors don't lie. They can't lie because they're operating at a level deeper than language, Deeper than thought, deeper than the story you tell yourself about who you are, leaned. So I'll ask you again, now that you've heard what these colors might mean, which one did you choose? And more importantly, do you see yourself in that choice? Does it feel like recognition? Like someone describing Am's, Anger, or did you choose one color but find yourself thinking about another as I talked? That's interesting too. That's the gap between who you think you are and who you're actually being, between the performance and the reality. Pay attention to that gap. That's where all the real growth happens. That's where you stop being who you think you should be and start becoming who you actually are, because the color you choose reveals who you are. Not perfectly, not completely, but clearly enough. Clearly enough to start seeing yourself without all the filters and justifications and carefully constructed stories. And once you can see clearly, everything changes. You stop fighting against your own nature. You stop trying to be red when you're blue or yellow when you're green. You start working with what you actually are instead of against it. This is not about limiting yourself. This is about understanding yourself, about seeing the truth so you can work with it instead of against it. See, the color is just a doorway, a way in, but what you do with what you see on the other side, that's up to you.